Hi, this is Shawn, and today we're going to be looking at rendering your videos out for YouTube upload. So as you can see, I have a video here, a simple video of pictures ready to export. So we're going to go ahead and go to File, Export, and Adobe Media Encoder. And here's my Adobe Media Encoder screen. As you see, I have both source and output tabs here, and these are going to show you your output video here. And we're going to first look at the format, and I recommend using H.264. This is the recommended settings for YouTube, and this is the MP4 format, and it's going to be used on basically any device is going to be able to use this format. So this is the recommended one to use. On your range, be sure you use the entire sequence and not just the work area. You may not render your entire video. Don't worry about presets because we're going to use custom settings, and make sure you're both the export video and export audio are selected. Alright, now as we look at the basic video settings here, and these are just the basic settings for your video, you can either use NTSC or PAL. NTSC is going to be for USA and Japan, and PAL will be for Europe and Asia. Alright, and now to the resolution, both the frame width and the frame height. Be sure these resolutions here are always set to the source resolution. You want to sync these, and that's going to make sure your video is going to look the best. If you change these, it may squish your video inwards or from the top, and it just won't look as good. So always try to sync these two resolutions here, unless you're doing something special like exporting for an iPad or something. But for YouTube's case, we're going to use HD 1440 by 1080. For frame rate, I use 23.976. This is the most common. You're going to see it in a lot of DVD players or video cameras or things like that is going to run at this frame rate. So go ahead and set it to 23.976. Field order, you got progressive, upper and lower. Just use none progressive. That's gonna be fine for YouTube. Pixel aspect ratio, you have widescreen, square pixels, standard, widescreen 2.21 to 1 or 16:9 ratio. In this case, my pictures are in 16:9, so I'm going to use 16:9. Just keep it to the same whatever your video was filmed in. In this case, 16:9. Profile and level, just keep them at default. Don't mess with those at all. Bitrate settings here are your most important settings when you're uploading to the web. You have CBR, VBR 1-pass, and 2BR or VBR 2-pass on bitrate encoding. 2-pass is going to go over your video twice, encoding it essentially twice, while the 1-pass is going to go over it once. VBR 2-pass may make your video larger, and since you are uploading to YouTube, you're going to keep your video file as small as possible. It's going to allow faster uploading, faster downloading, streaming. So it's just going to be better for both parties if you keep it smaller. So in order to do that, use VBR 1-pass. It'll just pass over at once. And then the target bitrate and the maximum bitrate. These are some of the most important settings because this is going to determine the size of your video file directly. As you can see, it goes all the way down to very small and all the way up to 20, really large. I found that when you're uploading to YouTube, you want to keep it within, 4 to 6 or 5 to 7 or somewhere within there. That's going to keep your video file small, but at the same time is going to allow for a fairly good quality video. So you're going to have people going to be able to watch your videos both in good quality, and they don't have to wait 4 hours for the video to load depending on their connection. You have to remember that people have all sorts of different types of connections, ranging from slow or dial-up all the way up to the highest speed DSL or cable modem. So you're going to adjust these settings here to keep it within 5 and 7 or 4 and 6 or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and set this one right around 6. We're going to go 6.0885, and then the maximum bitrate settings just tells it never to go over this settings because it fluctuates while it's rendering. So I'm going to go ahead and set this one right at about 7. And these settings here should enable a small enough file size and at the same time a good quality. As you can see, it's going to be about 40 megabytes for this file, which for an HD video isn't bad at all. Under advanced settings here, you just have one option which you don't even need to worry about. So filters, you can do noise reduction if you choose, and then audio settings, the only thing to notice in audio settings is to make sure your audio is going to be at the same quality as the source audio. So however you recorded your audio, or if you got it from a video camera, just check the settings in that audio and make sure all of these match, whether it's stereo, mono, or 5.1, and then the frequency and the quality, which are all important. If you want a smaller video size, you can always lower the quality, and that's going to decrease your file size if you have audio on your video. Multiplexer and others you really don't have to worry about, so just these two settings here. So once you have all these settings set, all you have to do is click OK and name your video. In this case, I'm going to name it YouTube Upload, and once you click say, it's going to render it out, and you can go to the YouTube page and upload your video. So I'm going to go ahead and click save, and it's going to render out. And the time shouldn't take long at all if you have these settings correctly. Depending on the length of your video, longer videos will obviously take a much longer time, but since we're keeping it fairly low quality, it's only going to take about 2 minutes for this video. So that is the recommended settings for uploading to YouTube. Thanks.